Hey, welcome to Conversations with Spirit. My name is Danny G, and this is Northern Comfort Tarot. Yes, we're hosting Conversations with Spirit this week with my co-host, Jai Gobin.
Hey,
Jai?
Liz. Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's good to be back here of attraction. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about this topic. So we're going to do our best to answer all of them and to have an awesome conversation. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make mention that if you guys want to donate to this channel or personal readings, you can see all that stuff down below in the description box. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So quite the conversation we're having tonight with Spirit.
Let's tell them about how Conversations with Spirit work.
Sure. So basically what we do is we have a conversation. We invite Spirit into the room, which we're going to do in a moment, which I'm pretty sure they're already here. But
I think they are.
Yeah, but we're going to do an opening. And really, the conversation is between us, but we love to bring you guys in as well. So we're going to be monitoring the comments throughout the conversation to bring in your points and your questions and make them valid in our conversation to kind of shed some light on the topic, and then bring in Spirit as well with use of the cards or through channeling to gain more perspective or a more rounded perspective on what we're talking about tonight. And tonight it's a big one. It's the law of attraction. And I know a lot of people kind of get they're caught up in misconceptions of what the law of attraction actually is, or how to use it, or the idea that, I'm not doing it right, which will
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing
Exactly.
it right? Yeah, that's the biggest one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let me say hi to everybody that's in the chat already. We've got Erica. How's it going? Miss Joe, JR, welcome. Rebecca, Sheila, William, what's up? Allison, Nicole, and Christina. Thank you guys for being here.
I want to thank Jody too in the audience for bringing this topic up to us. We also encourage you guys to, if you have any topics that have to do with spirituality, you can bring that to us, and we'll consider it for a conversation with Spirit.
Yes, this is actually how the topic came about. One of you guys, our viewers, Jody, literally sent me an email saying, there's something about the law of attraction that I really want to understand, that I feel like I'm not exactly doing it right. And so it was like the perfect segue to our next episode.
Absolutely.
Hey, Cynthia. So why don't we begin by, what I would like to do, I think, is to tell everybody a little bit about our experience with really learning about the law of attraction ourselves.
Sounds good.
What have we experienced in our lives that has helped us to understand what the law of attraction really is about. And I mean, I can start while you think about it, but basically for me, when I started to really understand the law of attraction is when I started to step into gratitude. That was the biggest thing that changed it completely for me, because I did spend a lot of time thinking that I was doing it wrong, just like a lot of us do, because we keep experiencing things in our lives that we perceive as negative or bad things. And when I stepped into gratitude, it changed the story completely, because I finally realized that, everything in the universe, all the things that happen to me are happening for me. Actually, they're happening for me, not to me. And when I realized that, it released the pressure of like it having to be this way or having to be that way. And then is when I really started manifesting like more abundance into my life, because I released the need for it to be and look a certain way. So that's my little 2 cents to begin this conversation with.
I had mine kind of gravitates around the release more than anything. My real kind of like I watched The Secret, and I asked my mom one day, I was like, is this fucking for real? Like, is this for real? All I need to do is ask for what I want, and da da da. And it kind of plays on the ideals of Christianity of ask and you shall receive, right?
Well, the movie The Secret is actually very much focused on creating financial abundance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that we can talk about as well, because even though the movie is a really good movie and it was a really good introduction to the law of attraction, I think that's where a lot of people got the misconception that like, oh, I can make all the money I want in the world, because that was the focus of it. Remember how that guy, like how he made his $1 million or whatever, and how he like attracted the house that he wanted and all that stuff. It seemed almost like
materialistic.
Materialistic and like too good to be true kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That was your first experience of the law of attraction?
Well, my first true experience was I was going through a dark night of the soul. I had some versing's in spirituality, and I wasn't even intentionally asking for anything to be manifest. I just said, financially, I'm worrying about some shit financially. Everything's coming to a head and I can't fucking deal with this right now, Creator. And it was pretty much me screaming at Creator saying, it's your go. It's your go. So higher self, or whoever the fuck's out there listening, my guides, I'm really putting my finances into your hands right now. And I'm being polite when I say that. And they said,
we're like, pulling my hair out.
Oh, I was fucking crying and screaming and in bed, soaking wet. And then, I pretty much said, I need $1,000 right fucking now. That's it. In my bank account. So I went to sleep, woke up, there was $1,000 in my bank account. And I was like, damn. Damn. Because I was really in a place where I never told anybody that I was fucked financially and I needed help. And asking you shall receive. And that was like that was the first instance where I was like, somebody's listening.
Who is that?
Well, that was
dun.
Yeah. Kind of freaked me out. It was my dad that gave me money. He just he gained some money through an inheritance. And he's never really given me much money in my entire life, but it was him that put the money there. And he just felt like blessing my life that night. But the Lord works in mysterious ways, right? So that's the old Christian cliche. But the other instance where I knew that it was really there's something, a force to be reckoned with, was my car was I was traveling 5 hours south of here, and my car's transmission started acting up, and I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. I don't know if I'm going to have cell service or when I'm going to have cell service. And this transmission's about to go. Creator, this is all yours. You guys are going to have to deal with it. Just get me somewhere close to somewhere, so it's not so hard of an issue to deal with, because I can't deal with shit right now.
Wow.
And my car coasted into the Nissan parking lot pretty much. And everybody was like, wow, man, you lucked out big time. And I got a brand new transmission put in for free because I had 400 kilometers left under my powertrain warranty.
Wow.
And everybody was like, wow, somebody's looking after you. And I was like, damn straight. About fucking time.
So I mean, I can share with you an experience that I had of very clearly something coming to my life that I had been wanting for a long time. So when I was in my past relationship, the whole time I knew that I didn't really want to be in the relationship. Like I knew that what was going on was I was in kind of like denial in a way of the things that were like actually happening. And I wanted something else than what I was getting. And so towards the end of it, like right before I actually broke up with my ex,
Yeah.
I did something called the miracle morning. And the miracle morning is a practice. It's actually a book. It's called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And it's a 30-day, basically like power path towards creating what you want in your life. And I remember going through all the little sections. It was like, well, what's your level 10? If level 10 was like the best thing that you wanted for your life, like what is your level 10 relationship look like? What does your level 10 financial situation look like? What does your level 10 like business venture or entrepreneurial venture look like? You know, what does your level 10 spiritual life look like? And so I remember answering these questions and in the end coming up with a very specific affirmation that said, I want to make $1,000. And it was like, I think it was in 2017 or something. It was like, in 2017, I want to make $50,000 a year, like basic or minimum, right? I want to be in a relationship with someone that is on vibrating at the same vibration as me, like a higher frequency, like a spiritual person that I can grow with, along with. And I want a white Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. And I like, no joke, I literally, that was my affirmation. And I started to say it every single morning, but it wasn't just about saying it. It was actually about feeling the way that I would feel once I had those things every morning. I would sit there and visualize. I visualized myself like driving the car. I visualized myself being in the relationship. I visualized myself having no problems with financial things, no money problems, right? And then when literally like a few months later is when I officially broke up with my ex. And then I met Dawn, who I'm in a relationship with now, who is the person literally that I was calling into my life. He, at that point, was making about like 50 grand, but like more than that. But in a sense, it was like that became like the 50 grand came into that essence, right? It wasn't, I was making it, but it was like in my life now. It was like this pool that was like in my life now. And then when it came to the car, he wanted to help me so much to like spiritually evolve that he basically asked me, well, what do you need right now? You know, like my car was actually, the car that I had was actually literally dying. It was like smoking black smoke out of the back and stuff. It was like done. And so we literally went and we bought a white Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. So it's like everything within a year of doing that miracle morning, the main things like literally came true for me. And that was a moment where I realized the power of intention and manifesting, because like pure focus, right? Like pure concentration. But there's something about the law of attraction that I've learned since then that has changed my perspective of how it actually works. And I think that we should talk about that a little bit, because that's the main thing. So how, in your words, like how does the law of attraction actually work?
To me, you have to have that intention, absolutely, or at least state it once into the air, even, or write it down. But really, it's the gratitude of having it already, being grateful for having it already. I think that's the activator in this law. And keeping your vibration at a level of, gratitude, and not trying to dip too low or even bring it too high, but just like being on coast. So you put your intention out there, you let go of your intention, you release it to the other side and allow them to manifest it, to bring it to you, and not getting in the way of it. You know what I mean? Not letting your mind go back to lack mentality of like, I want it so bad, means you don't have it. So you're lacking it. Therefore, you're creating more lack, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of riding that high vibration, not meaning like you're always happy and you're always staying positive, because like we're fucking humans, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we're having a human experience. So that's the idea of trying to stay positive and in gratitude all the time is almost too far-fetched for that. But letting go of your intention and being grateful as much as you possibly can for,
Like putting it out there, right?
Yeah, putting it out there and letting go of it
Mm-hmm.
is like two of the biggest things that I find when I'm manifesting are the most important.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
No,
sure.
that's awesome. So the thing that I wanted to bring up too is that is how the law of attraction works. And there's a lot more to it as well.
Absolutely.
So as you focus on the things that you really want, and this focus on what you really want is like so subjective. So how do you figure out what you want and what you don't want? Because the first step is like becoming aware of the fact that there's something that you don't have that you desire in your life. It's like this energy of desire, right? And the reason that you know that you want it is because you know that you don't have it. And that's what we call contrast.
Yeah.
So you see what you don't have, and it gives you clarity, it gives you information. Okay, I know what I want, and I know what I don't want. Because you know what you don't have, and you don't want that. You actually want this thing that you don't have. However, it gets tricky because the more focus that you put on what you don't have, the more focus that is put on what you're lacking. And so the universe, because it works in vibrations, it will reflect back to you the vibration of lack that you're feeling inside of yourself. But it goes deeper than that, because the law of attraction is not just about like being the magician and creating magic, manifesting things into reality. It goes deeper than that. Becoming one, like raising your vibration to like the highest level possible, is basically becoming one with the universe. It's literally what it's all about. I think in our physical bodies, because we have this like ego mind that tells us that things need to be this way and things need to be that way, we forget that we have our soul, right? And our soul already pretty much has everything in a sense. And because we did choose to come to this planet to learn and to spiritually evolve, and also as light workers, we came to learn specific lessons that would help us to step into our power as light workers. I think that whole aspect of it needs to be added to this definition of like, I just want to manifest abundance into my life.
I think that makes sense too, because like at the time of my manifestations, I was at a point where I was dead. There was death all around me. Like I was in the middle of my dark night of the soul. So I had no ego left. I had all these things that were shed away. And I was truly just that essence of me that was sitting at the bottom, waiting to rise up, right, from the ashes. So yeah, it makes sense that I'd have the most power when I had the less amount of ego.
There we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
That's the root right there.
That's it right there. We forget. So what happens? So when someone is going through a difficult time in their lives and they feel like they attracted that, it's almost like we start playing this like it's your fault. Like you brought this to yourself, so you need to like unbring it. You know what I mean? And then it becomes this like, we start to feel like we don't know how to do it right. And I think that's where that comes from, because we're going through things in our lives that we're judging. We're using our ego to judge what comes, right?
Yeah.
But really, who are we to judge? Do we really know how to judge? Is judgment really the sort of like window that we need to look through, the lens that we need to look through? Because that's the lens that we're looking through. We're judging like, that's good, that's bad, right? Having money is, you know how to use the law of attraction. Being poor is, you don't know how to use the law of attraction. Do you know what I mean? It's like we have put this like belief system on the law of attraction where only the good things mean that you know how to do the law of attraction. When you're getting the good stuff into your life that we deem is good, that means we're doing it right. And the thing about the law of attraction is that there's no way to do it right and there's no way to do it wrong. You cannot get it wrong. The law of attraction takes us down this, when you really start to look at it in a deeper way, it takes us down this path of truly understanding what healing is all about. Because I think it's way more complex than just bringing thoughts into reality.
Yeah. The law of attraction is always on. It's always,
right.
It's not something that we can shut off, or it's not something that we uphold. It's on fucking autopilot all the time in your life. So whether it's good or bad thoughts that you're thinking, you're attracting your thoughts. That's why we're supposed to be mindful of our thoughts.
And it goes even deeper than that. This is the new awareness that I've received even within the last few days, because as we're getting ready to do this video on the law of attraction, I start receiving all this information that I didn't know about the law of attraction. It's like, holy moly. That's the universe like bringing it to me so that I can speak it here.
For sure. Yeah.
So thoughts are vibrations, and we know that. We understand the world. When we think of energy and we understand that our thoughts are vibrations and our emotions are vibrations and the universe responds to vibrations, you start to realize that what you think and what you feel, the universe is registering, and it doesn't decipher between good and bad. It doesn't say, oh, I can sense what you really want, and so I'm going to help you manifest that. It doesn't discern. The universe just goes, oh, you want more of that? Because you're emanating this vibration of lack, or you're emanating this vibration of like, I don't have this. So the universe goes, oh, here's more of that. You know, it just responds automatic. It's like on autopilot. But it goes even deeper. It's not just our thoughts, because as we grow, especially when we're children, especially those of us that have gone through like very intense childhoods, trauma, and we have been, emotionally abused, sometimes physically abused, mistreated. We grow up with these emotional wounds, and it's almost like they're in our auric field, and they fog up the clarity. They make our bright light a little bit dull because they don't let it like really like flow all the way through.
Yeah.
And what happens is sometimes you'll ask for something, and like I did, right? I wanted the new relationship. I wanted the car. I wanted the money. But the universe started to lead me down this track where like I met the man of my dreams. I got the car of my dreams. I got the financial stability that I wanted, but all of this stuff came up. And in that first year, I did the most emotional healing that I've ever done in my whole life. this man that came into my life didn't just come into my life and then everything was perfect. The man came into my life and started to mirror the things that I still needed to heal in myself. And so I could have left the relationship. I could have felt like the relationship was not going to work. I could have, like, the universe literally brought it to me, and I could have seen the whole thing with the eyes of my ego and thought, well, this wasn't really what I wanted. So I'm just going to walk away. But I didn't walk away. I stayed, and I continued to let the universe show me the things that I needed to heal in myself. And these were wounds that were going way back to before 8 years old. And as I started to walk and heal myself from those wounds, I literally stepped into a new relationship with myself. And the universe brought me what I wanted, but it said, literally, you need to heal these parts of yourself so that you can truly step into abundance in your life. And that's where the tower moments come. We get the tower card and things fall apart. And then there's that moment where for a second we can say, it's not working. But the truth is that it is working. And if we just would trust and have gratitude for everything that's like happening in our lives, we would release all that tension that we feel, like whether I'm doing it right or wrong, because that's not how the universe works. It's a completely different perspective.
Yeah, you have to release all control in order for the universe to do what the universe does best, and that's bringing it to you in whatever way, right? That it sees fit because it knows what's best for you. So, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So there's more than meets the eye. You can have everything you want, but you got to remember that the minute you ask for it, what's going to happen is the universe isn't going to bring it to you like, oh, here it is. Because when you ask for it, you don't quite have it yet. So you're not yet a vibrational match to it. But to become a vibrational match to it, if you went through this situation in your life, you would learn the things that you needed to learn in order to become a vibrational match to what you actually want.
Exactly.
So when you ask for something and things all of a sudden get worse, you can't just say it's not working, because you don't know what's on the other side of once you learn that lesson, right?
So you should actually be grateful that the shit is going down, because it must be, what I need to learn to get what I want, what I initially wanted out of the universe. So I hope big time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being grateful for the things that you don't necessarily think that, this is good for me. This is, and you initially reject them because, well, this must be bad because it tastes like shit. But in actuality, it's what's propelling you forward on a vibrational level to bring you to a point where you can actually receive what you've been asking for.
Yes, exactly. And so if we continue to live in a world where we don't heal ourselves, basically the law of attraction is just one way of looking at the world. To me, it's like one way of looking at healing and how healing works. But it's not the only thing that's going on. It's not the whole picture. The whole picture is if you continue to live your life in this mode, unconscious, never changing, you don't want to change, you don't want to do the work, you want to blame everybody else for your problems, when you continue to live in that space, you will never reach a higher vibration. And so that low vibration will continue to just cycle and cycle and cycle and cycle. But what changes is when you have the desire to be something better. I think that's when it shifts.
Yeah.
And even though it seems like it gets worse before it gets better, when you continue to move, when you continue to reach for the higher vibration, you will be in essence moving Like you will be creating the movement to get to where you want to go.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it makes more sense when you think about it that way too. Like it just, because to me, I always got caught up on the, these things are happening to me and it's not really what I want. So then I go back into the lack mentality and then I'm like, damn shit, I'm back in lack. Fuck, I got to get out of lack. So I'm trying to redirect, consistently. And then, okay, well, I'm back to a gratitude space and the universe is okay, keeps it going, keeps the wheels going, brings up another instance. And it just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why does this thing keep coming to me? Why do I feel like I'm being pushed through this test all the time? Really, it's the test that gets you to a point where your vibrations raise to the next point where, the next blessing or what we think is a curse comes in to raise your vibration again. But it's all in how you look at what's being brought to you.
Right.
And it's keeping your vibration up that way, saying, okay, well, I could look at this as a negative, but let's just work through it because this is what the universe has for me to chew on right now. And even if it's like, I think I'm going to lose the house. Well, maybe you have to lose the house to get to the next level, to level up.
There has been so many moments in my life where I thought I wanted this one thing, but it wasn't really what I wanted.
Yeah.
It was like I was attracting something else, right? So say for example, it's like I always thought I wanted to like get married or like have a kid or something in my last relationship. And then the universe made it so that was impossible. And so I thought like the universe was like punishing me in some way. And then I realized in my relationship now that honestly, it's like having kids is not exactly in my path right now. And there's no attachment to it now because I'm in a different place.
Yeah.
So before it was like I was projecting these fears, these belief systems that I learned, while I was growing up about having kids and how like, we were supposed to, get married and have kids and like live this life. And I thought that was the right thing to do. And in reality, it was like I was headed in a completely different direction. And that's completely okay. And that's why when you begin to heal, to do the actual work, like the shadow work, and you begin to heal your life, things change drastically. And you start to really learn about yourself and who you are. And like we mentioned, you start to step into a higher vibration of where you're actually going in your spiritual evolution, instead of like thinking that it's all about creating money in your life, right? You start to realize that it's really about healing.
For sure. That's what it's really about. Leveling up is all about healing whatever wounds, right? But we also get caught up too in the like you were mentioning how, well, if I'm not bringing in what I'm asking for, and these things are coming at me, then there must be something from within that needs healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we move into that, well, we're healing our shit and we're working through our shit and we healed a bunch of shit. We move into that energy of, well, there's something wrong with me because I'm not vibrating at this level that I need to hone in what I've been asking for. So I'm doing something wrong. When really it's not necessarily that we're doing anything wrong. We're just not, how do you say that? Like, am I making sense right now is another thing that's going through my head right now. It's not that there's something wrong with me. per se that I need to dig into my life deeper and deeper. And because that thought of there's something wrong with me and I need to change something about me is also a thought that there's lack within. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lack within me.
Right. When you start to think that you need to change something about yourself, or that you need to be a better person, or that there's something wrong with you and that's why you're not manifesting, it's literally shining a light to the fact that you just feel like this lack of what you're wanting, and focusing on the lack doesn't bring the abundance in. But okay, there's a difference between focusing on the lack and actually facing those feelings, those emotions that are literally like coming to the surface and asking you to look at them. Where is that lack mentality coming from? Most likely, you're going to find that the deeper you look, it's going to come from sometime in your childhood between the ages of, when you were born to 8 years old. Something in your life happened, because at 8 years old, we officially are able to rationalize. But until 8 years old, we cannot rationalize anything. All we do is just take it in, take it in, take it in, take it in, take it in. And if it's traumatic, it becomes a thing. And it almost like splits us into pieces because we don't really know what to do with it. So a piece runs off that way and a piece runs off that way. And then, and we literally create this subconscious mind with all of this gunk in it of things that we haven't dealt with, that got split, right? Mm-hmm. So when we become conscious later on in adulthood, to clear the subconscious mind is to go back and heal that inner child. And when you heal that inner child, you heal that lack mentality. Mm-hmm. And when you heal that lack mentality, you open yourself up, you clear that. It's like you're taking out the trash. And now you are clear to like create what you want. Yeah. With freedom, with those things no longer your baggage. So unless you're able to release the baggage, you're going to feel like you're not doing it right. What did we get?
10 of Wands. Releasing your burdens.
There you go. So unless you release the baggage, you're not going to be able to truly see what's really going on beneath the surface. And to truly step into the law of attraction, or to start to manifest, or to start to be in your creativity in general, is to heal the old wounds, to heal your inner child.
Yeah. So the 10 of Wands, releasing the burdens, you'll receive your Ace of Pentacles. The the card says wise investment, but what you've been asking for will come in once you release your burdens, of course, and step into the Nine of Pentacles energy that you already have it. Healing the inner child. Tahoe.
There you go. That's where it's really at.
Yeah.
That's where life is always going to point you towards, because you came to learn these lessons and to go through the things that you went through so that you could transmute that energy. It's almost like you chose to come, and you knew that until 8 years old, you were just going to be like a sponge, and you were just going to absorb everything that you were taught, and you're going to take it in and internalize it as if it was the world for you, and if it was the right and the wrong thing to do. And then eventually you were going to get to a point where it would be the climax, where you would be standing on the edge of a cliff and have to choose whether to jump or not, to jump into the unknown, to realize that everything that you've learned so far might not be the way to go. Mm-hmm. Might not be where the universe is really taking you, that there might be something different that you need to learn. And you knew that would happen, and you knew that it was going to be your job to transmute that energy. So part of it is like, once you get to that point, that's where your power really begins. And then you realize that it's a choice, that you choose to move forward or not. And that's when it gets tricky. That's when it gets tricky. So the point is that the universe takes you to a place of finding the awareness of what's really going on, that there's parts of you that really need healing for you to be free of it, free to create, right? And the second part is to choose to start walking that path of healing so that you can begin to manifest the things that you really want. But until you get to that space of healing, it's like, is what you want really what you need to get to that next level? Because you might think that you want this thing and it doesn't happen, but then something way better comes.
Yeah.
That you didn't even realize. Hey, Amanda, how's it going? Thank you guys so much for being here, by the way, in the chat. We appreciate you guys very much.
Hey, Amanda.
Emily says, at one point in my life, I said, I never signed up for this. So how could that happen? Can you expand on that? Thanks, William.
It's been quite the chat all night, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys have questions you want to ask, like personal questions that we can maybe get into about this topic of the law of attraction? Well, Adrian posted something. I've seen in my life go to shit and then more shit and then more shit. So when does it get better? Because I'm scraping the rocks. And if I find another sinkhole, I'm not sure I can keep doing it.
If you look at the wording that you're using in that paragraph, Dewey, you can kind of see a glimpse into where your thoughts are, right? So the shit came out 3 times. When does it get better? Meaning it hasn't gotten better yet. And you're scraping the rocks. If you find another sinkhole, you don't think you can keep doing it. You're still in that vibration, that vibrational state of almost like hanging on. And that hanging on is what's keeping you in that state. Like, I don't want to sound like a fucking prick, but I know what really, okay, I'm gonna back this up a little bit. What really kind of made itself known to me, because I've gone through the depths of the shit, was when someone said you have to be careful with what you're speaking, what you're saying, what you're thinking, even, because all those things are the chains that the devil holds on us. If you're going to bring a third party into it, it's what we create our own hell. So when I was in the depths of my shit and I was blaming external forces for it, or even blaming myself and the choices that I made in my life, it was negativity. When is my positivity going to come into play? And someone told me, you need to really watch and be careful with what you're saying. And then I found out down the road that the reason why they were saying that, or what someone else told me, was because I've gone through the depths, or even before that, I'm what you call a high I operate at a high manifestation level. So what was keeping me down was actually me in those depths, because I kept vibrating. I'm in shit. I'm in the shit. I'm in the shit all the fucking time. And like everywhere I looked, it seemed to be shit and more shit. And it wasn't until I thought, okay, well, let's dig deeper into why, or the choice of words that I'm using. And I'm just going to start letting go of some words. And as I let go of these words, especially when I was dealing with my own self, when I was talking about what I was going through or my own self, and I stopped using my life is shit. I'm broken. I don't feel worthy of whatever, or it's what I'm worthy of isn't coming my way. And I started changing it to, I am worthy. I am worthy of a better future. And there's one on the horizon. Small things started to change, and it starts from within as well. Like I wasn't beating myself up anymore. I wasn't putting an external focus on why things haven't changed in my life. And I was really picking myself up from the shit and honoring myself as one of the highest vibrational beings that has that potential to manifest whatever the fuck I want in my life. Once I respected that part of me, and started choosing other words, things started picking up and started getting better. And I started to feel lighter. And I still go through shit, but I don't focus my attention on what I'm going through. I focus more on why. Why is this come into my life, and how do I need to look at this in a way that changes me for the better? I don't know if that makes sense, Jai.
It does, because when you stepped into a different perspective of it, you freed yourself of it.
Yeah.
You freed yourself of it. If you ask successful people, what's your habit for success, right? What are like the 10 best habits for success, right? Well, one of the most important ones is like, the self-talk in your head needs to not be negative. Like, you need to love yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you need to love yourself enough to understand that just because you're going through something difficult doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It means that right now, this is what you're going through. And you can literally release all attachment to it. And you can even start to think of like, why would I be going through this? What is the universe trying to teach me? What do I have to learn so that I can be on the other side of this, so that I can release like this chain, so I can break this chain? What do you want to teach me? Like, ask the universe, because you have the power to connect with your intuition. Yeah. You have the power to say, what am I supposed to learn in this situation? Like, tell me, show me.
Oh shit. I've been there too. And some of the messages, when they come, they're like, there was one, I was like, why am I in such heartbreak and heartache? Why is this wasn't supposed to happen? No. Why? And then all of a sudden a voice came and they said, get your fucking pen and paper out. We're going to tell you why. So I got my pen and paper. I got my pen and paper, and it was like they were just fucking yelling at me back. Okay, you want to talk perception? This is our perception. This is what the fuck, why you're going through this shit. And it just started flowing out, and I was in tears as I went back and I reread it, and I was like, oh my fucking God. Okay, I'm good. Thanks for the update, guys.
Clarity.
The clarity, yeah.
The universe brings you clarity. And then it's your choice.
Yeah.
It's your choice where to go next. You ask for the clarity, you get the clarity. If you continue to choose the same path that you've already been doing over and over and over again, you know what to expect.
That's resistance. That's resistance to what the universe is trying to bring in for you.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on in the chat that I know there's a lot of good questions. So I'm going to start looking through it.
Cool.
Little by little. So we hope that we can help you find a little bit of clarity, Dewey, on that.
I hope that makes sense, Dewey. I don't know. You might have to rewind that a couple of times, but
yeah, right.
J.R. McCullough said, how does something like depression fit in with the law of attraction? You know, I was pondering this today because I'm going through a bit of a down spell myself, and what I was told was depression is resistance. That's what came to me. Depression is resistance to moving forward through what you need to move forward through to get to the other side. Like, I'm not, it sounds like a bad fucking joke, actually, but but like my depression, or like I was watching, what was that video? Tiredness is a form of resistance by Abraham Hicks. And most of the tiredness, when tiredness comes to me, it comes in the form of depression almost, where, you know, I'm not dealing with something that I need to let go of. I'm resisting it. Whether it be, you know, my girlfriend left me and I'm really feeling fucking terrible. And I thought I did everything that I could have to keep the relationship going. That relationship wasn't for you, dude, is what the other side is saying. There's better out there for you. You are at a vibration that deserves better. Allow this to come to you. You want true love. Well, you have to go through these things in order for true love to come and find you. You know what I mean? So this depressive state is almost, it's that I don't want to see it. I don't want to, what I'm seeing before me is shit, and I don't want to deal with it. And the more that I don't deal with it, the more depressed I get. And the digger I deep into the shit, you know, and I wallow in it. And it's when really I should be moving forward in a, not a positive way, but in a progressive way.
Sometimes I think we really need to hit bottom to see how far you can truly take that depression, or take that anxiety, or take that low vibration. It's like, how far can this go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times we need to look at what's going on in our lives, and to get out of it, you literally like have to visualize, like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, a lot of times the worst that could happen is already happening right now to you.
Yeah.
That's the worst. You could be in a state of depression that you feel like you can't escape from. That's the worst for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already experiencing the worst, it's almost like, well, you hit that point, and now it's like, well, are you really stuck? Are you really stuck? Has there been times in your life where you've been able to like get yourself out of negative situations? You know, it's like, has there been times in your life where you have been, you know, the inspiration came, you know, and then it actually like got you excited about something? When you fall off like the high flying disc, when you fall off the high vibration and you're like flying really low, it's hard to see yourself back up there. Like, it's hard to see that you one day you can get back on that high flying disc. It's really challenging. And I don't think it's about feeling like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing anything wrong. It's just about recognizing that where you're at is just where you're at right now. It doesn't even matter. It's like, you just got to let yourself feel it.
Yeah. It's almost to the point where it's acceptance, right?
You have to like process it. Yeah, it's acceptance. It's, dude, I mean, this is the craziest part. It's like, are you able to find gratitude for where you're at?
Yeah.
Like, if you really look at it, like, do you realize like how magical the universe is, where you ask for something and it literally brings you a situation, sometimes almost instantly, that helps you like learn how to step into your power. Like, do you realize that that's exactly what's going on?
Yeah.
And yeah.
I pulled some cards too, and it's the Page of Swords, the Empress, and the Page of Wands, and on it it shows thoughts, stepping into your power, excitement and curiosity, staying in a vibration of excitement and curiosity of even what does this have to teach me, you know?
We
And
keep coming back to that. What do I have to learn here? What am I supposed to learn here?
right. And it's changing your thoughts to, there is something that I need to break free of. There is something that I need to conquer. As the Empress, I have to take the power back and step into my power and really stay attuned to that excitement and curiosity that the universe is bringing me what I desire. And all I have to do is work through this stuff that will raise my vibration back to a place, or continually keep my vibration at a place that it's of progression.
Look at the things that have happened already in your life to start to help you to see the difference, to start to find that awareness, right? Dewey said, I get that, Danny, but I'm not seeing my path forward. And guess that's what is holding back. And then he goes, it's the worst. So you guys brought me back. He says, Jai, he's in a bad state of depression. You can't even see or be grateful. I just won't let you. It just won't let you see the thing is that it's not about being grateful. How can I put this? Because I understand what you're saying. When you're in that state, it's not about you can't. Okay, so
there's a point where you're so far in depression that you can't see anything to be grateful for. It's just
right.
awful.
Well, jumping from, and maybe there's another way that I can explain this word grateful, this feeling of grateful that can give a more of a clearer picture. Okay. So, I love to use this analogy of the planet Pluto. Okay. When Pluto transits your chart somewhere in your natal chart, Pluto is the planet of death. So when Pluto transitions somewhere in your chart, it brings death, but it also brings lessons, because death are shifts towards higher vibrations. Death is about letting go and moving somewhere else in a different direction. So when Pluto transits your chart, and Pluto transits your chart for about, it's like a couple of years where you could literally have a Pluto transit, right? Like over a year, definitely, sometimes longer, right? So Pluto comes into your life and it's like getting the Tower card. So let me give you an example in my life, okay? Because that's what's going to help. I left LA because I wanted to run away, because I didn't want to feel like I couldn't connect with people. I thought that going to a different location would change that for me, right? I escaped. I just escaped. I got to Colorado and I literally landed into relationship after relationship that was super dysfunctional. It was not teaching me anything. It was actually bringing me into a deeper hole. Each relationship brought me into a deeper hole and a deeper hole and a deeper hole until the last relationship, it's like I went off the rocker on that one. I mean, I did things in that relationship that were literally illegal. I didn't even think about what I was doing. I let myself get so low and I let it be okay. And it got to a point where it went so low and I was like, I cannot believe that I let myself get this low. I had an illusion about the relationship itself that it was one day going to be better. It was one day going to get fixed. Like I had an illusion about my partner that he was going to grow, that he was going to step into spirituality, that he was going to become like the man that I wanted him to be. And in that belief system, I dug myself deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into that despair until one day I realized I reached the end of the line. Nothing else is left here. And if we haven't, and that's that bottom, hitting rock bottom that I talk about. So Pluto transits, they bring you something into your life that makes you heal. Makes you go through that death ritual. And you go, oh my God, I cannot believe that I'm going through this. I can't handle any more of this. And then the universe goes, well, thank you for letting me know. Here's some more of this. And then you're like, holy fuck, like I really can't handle any more of this. And the universe goes, well, thank you for letting me know because here's some more. This is exactly what you need. So every relationship kept taking me deeper and deeper and deeper because I kept saying, I hate, I don't want another horrible relationship. I want a better one. I want a better one. I want a better one. But I wasn't understanding what was really going on. I needed to learn how to step into my power. And I wasn't stepping into my power until the last relationship where I finally said, fuck this. I'm stepping into my power. Like I'm ready now. Like I realized I was like not doing the work that whole time. I was faking it. I thought I was doing the work, but I really wasn't doing the work. And when I started to really like what happened was all of a sudden there was this mirror in front of my face that said, well, look at this. You blaming everything on the other person, but look at what you're doing. Look at your contribution in this relationship. Look at how much you've caused pain. Just as pain has been caused you, look how much pain you've caused as well. You've lied, right? You've not been honest.
Yeah.
To yourself or to your partner. You've said and done things that like just are not in alignment with who you say you are. It's time to fucking look at that shit. And when I finally said, all right, universe, I surrender. I'll look at my fucking shit. I'll look at my shit and I'll fucking be humble and I'm going to learn from this. And it was in that moment that everything shifted because the universe finally said, you finally got what we were trying to tell you. Okay, now let's move on to the next. And then the next lessons begin, And that's what I mean by like, gratitude is the same as surrender. Oh. It's not about, I'm so happy because I'm in the worst place of my life. That's not gratitude. It's not like lying to yourself and saying everything is perfect, right now, even though you feel like everything is anything but perfect, right? It's about surrendering. It's about understanding. It's about knowing that once, like the power is in you to let go of all those things that are holding you down by healing. But go ahead.
Yeah, because truly, this is something that I've taken into myself this over the past year anyways, is no one can make me feel the way I feel. That is my choice. And no one has put me into this feeling aside from myself. It's something that I've allowed myself to do. I've allowed myself to be in this space. So why am I allowing myself to be here? What are the lessons that I need to learn by allowing myself to feel this, to be in this state? And if it's the universe teaching me a lesson, by fucking Jesus Christ, show me what the lesson is. And then it's like what's been said in the comments is baby step your way through these things. And if that means like I've been sleeping consistently I've been sleeping in consistently over the past few days. It's my baby step was I'm going to get up and I'm going to turn the fucking coffee maker on today. You know what I mean? And then I fall back asleep and I smell burning coffee. But I got up and I took the initiative to get up and put the coffee maker on. You know what I mean? And that was a big thing for Monday. Tuesday, maybe I got up and I actually had a coffee. It's not that these things need to be learned overnight. It's just that you're putting action forward, saying that, I'm going through some shit, and accepting that you're going through some shit, and that it's okay with you because you need to get through this in order to heal and in order to get to a place where your vibration is a bit better and a bit better, and then allow for that snowball to pick up momentum and be okay that you're allowing yourself to be this way. You're not beating yourself up saying, I'm so fucking depressed, I'm so useless, all I can be is depressed. You're being gentle with the words and how you treat yourself in your mind as well.
Take it easy, be easy on yourself. This Absolutely. Is rough. Like, it's a rough transition, and there's nothing wrong with where you're at. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like this perception that makes you think that you need to be somewhere else. You don't need to be anywhere else right now, but where you're at.
Absolutely.
That's what being grateful means, is that realizing that fucking perfect essence of the universe, that for whatever reason, this is what you're experiencing right now, and so be it. I'm going to experience the fuck out of it.
Fucking rates.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Cynthia said something that I love. She said, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. So, and I love that. And I want to dive into that a little bit, because the truth, right, that you will discover along this path, along this journey, is that you've probably been fucking abused. You've been emotionally abused. You've been maybe even physically abused. People have not treated you the way that you should have been treated. People have not allowed you to express yourself. They haven't tolerated your feelings. How many parents, when we're little, a child is like, I'm feeling this emotion right now, and the parent invalidates it. You shouldn't be feeling that way. Knock it off, So you've been invalidated for like your whole fucking life. So how are you supposed to validate yourself if you don't know what that looks like? And the process of learning how to validate your emotions starts with right now, in this moment, letting yourself feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because until you truly feel it, you're not going to get to the other side. Something is telling you that what's going on is wrong, and there is nothing wrong with what's going on. That's what I mean by gratitude, surrender.
Yeah, and depression too. Like, oh, well, if you're battling it, you need to take a pill, and the pill is going to help you get to a place of gratitude, I guess, or I don't know what the fuck, but the pill doesn't necessarily, it might pull you out of the way you're feeling in the moment, but it's like any drug. It's just like alcohol, even if you're just putting off the lesson for another day, really, and I'm not saying that all drugs are bad, and absolutely at some times you need these things to kind of lift you out of a darkness. Like I'm even contemplating it right now, but the whole point of being in that place it's an opportunity to fucking slingshot you into an amazing place, so baby steps, man.
You'll start to notice when you hit that rock bottom, you're like, the bottom of the hole and you look up and you're like, fuck, I'm so far down here.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, how the hell did I get over here? And so then you start to take those baby steps and you start to like tell yourself, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to stop beating myself up because I didn't know how to do it right. If there was a right, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't yet realize how much of this I was literally like manifesting because I wasn't aware of my vibration. I wasn't aware of all these things that I've bought into,
Mm-hmm.
that are not my truth. And in that moment, you start to separate what is my truth from what is not my truth.
Yeah, and you'll start to see that the shit we learned as children that became our beliefs were just beliefs of other people that not necessarily hold true to ourselves. So, in a lot of times too, what we're holding on to and what's driving us deeper into this pit is the beliefs, even that the little shit fucking beliefs that somebody taught us one day back when we were kids that we were holding on to so dearly, thinking that that is truth. No, truth is within. Truth is 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 what you're vibrating at, you know. And you don't be afraid of letting go of these beliefs or false truths even to you in the moment right now, because like that as well holds you back from what you deserve, holds you back from raising your vibration. And these are the things that we were working through to release and get rid of and to move forward. You know, that just more shit on your travels, really, to abundance and to manifesting clearly what you want and receiving it. It's the shedding of a skin, really.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. It's not going to be fun at times, you know, but you can also look at it as being fun at times as well. Even with the shit, like I've noticed people that operate on a higher vibration, they get a blow to the chest with whatever is thrown at them, and they're like, "Wow, is that the best you got? Like, this is fuck all."
Dude, there's people. Okay. So another habit of really successful people, when things happen in your life that you perceive as being bad or like, oh, I didn't really want that to happen, instantly release that thought, instantly release that reaction, because that is just a reaction and it is exactly what needed to happen.
Yeah.
So I'll give you another story. Like,
perception's huge.
yes, exactly. So people who are successful have basically stepped into the power to the point where they embrace what the universe has to teach them. So it's almost like something comes and you're like, bring it on. I can learn this. I can do this. Like, if this is what I'm supposed to experience right now, well, then let me fully experience it so that I don't continue to like hold off on that until later on. It's like this huge ball of gnarliness that I have to like jump over.
That's like Don's analogy with the monk and the kid. Remember that?
Tell it if you remember it.
Well, there was this monk, and this family came to this monk, and they said, "This is my daughter. You impregnated her with this kid, and when this kid comes, you brought shame upon our family. So you must feel the shame." And you know, like,
Right. And and it was like, is that so?
Is that so? And they're like, "Yeah, that's so. You're gonna feel the shame of this thing because we're gonna announce it to the world that this is your kid." So they had the kid, and they brought the kid to him, and there's like, "You're gonna take care of this kid. We're leaving this kid here, so you can revel in the shame of you know, out of wedlock, impregnated our daughter against her will, da da da, and that's gonna be your shame." And the monk said, "Is that so?" And it didn't look like they were phasing him at all. And so they left and they came back, and they came back with their daughter and a boy, and they said, well, actually, this isn't your child. We want the child back because this is the child of this boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want you to, it's okay, we're sorry for what we did, and we don't want you to feel shame. And the monk, is that so? And at no point in that story did the monk ever feel shame because of the perception of, wow, I didn't have a child. I'm not, we don't engage in sexual, but now I have a child, and I'm going to bring this child up as if it was mine, and love it with all the beautiful vibration that I have to give it. And he was happy in all instances, at any point he could have been like, damn, that's not my child, and put up a fight and bitched and moaned and never,
and lost his energy to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think eventually we can get to a place where we stop losing our energy because of things that other people say or do, or with things that like we take on. That's releasing your own shit, like the toxic belief systems and things from your past that you've learned, that you've like taken on. You start to release those things because you realize they're not really yours.
That's why I brought up that comment last conversations with Spirit about is there a point where we're like above karma, like we transcend karma? And it's because I'm at a point now where, I do have my vices, and I do have things that hold me down that I'm working through, right, as we all do. But there are things that usually used to trigger me, but now it's like I stand outside of it. So these things come at me and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And they don't phase me like they used to. They don't get me triggered. I don't lose my shit, or I don't.
Matt Kahn.
It doesn't send me into a massive depression because of like something that just happened to me from some other dude, right? Like,
you become stronger. Matt Kahn says the best way to check yourself, how spiritually evolved you are, is how quickly you go from 0 to like reaction mode. Like if you just react to everything, you're not very spiritually evolved. Yeah. Because being spiritually evolved means being in a space of a higher perspective where you understand that, yes, everything goes up and down, things happen, but it doesn't have to, like, you don't have to go through those crazy waves with it. You can be grounded. You can be centered. You can be like in your own energy. You can own your own energy and not let things like take over. Yeah. Definitely perspective for sure.
Yeah.
Miss Jo says, just out of curiosity, did everyone have a hard week? Because I feel like I'm pulling myself out of it now, thanks to you guys. Well, I'm glad that this is having the effect on you, Miss Jo. This whole month of April has been kind of gnarly. Like we had a second full moon in Libra, all about relationships. We're literally like in a whole new world when it comes to relationships, and we are having to learn how to be more conscious in our lives, how to have more conscious relationships. But the reality is that how to have more conscious relationships with ourselves. That's where it starts.
Yeah, I'm literally just trying to stay conscious. Like this month is just, wow. It's wrecked me so hard that like the past couple of days, I haven't even been able to get out of bed at whatever's labeled a decent time, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm working through shit the best that I can. And I am staying within the vibration that I am doing exactly what I need to be doing. And if that means fucking staying in bed, then that's what that means, is staying in bed. Mm-hmm. And a tear comes to my eye even right now because I don't want to be in bed, but it's what needs to be. And I need to accept that. And maybe that's all that is. Maybe that is all that is, as far as lessons go, is that I just need to accept what I need to be doing at the moment I need to be doing it. You know, that's a part of my journey. And that in itself could be the baby step.
Right.
You know, just to allow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the law of allowing, the law of allowance. It's like you let whatever is happening happen. You don't try to change it. You don't resist against it. You don't try to fight it.
Yeah,
Just
because
like let it happen, because somehow it's supposed to happen so that you can get to the other side. So the quicker you get to the other side, the better.
yeah, and that plays into the part where you know, we don't have control of our lives. We're on a course of destiny that's destined for us. And the only real control that we have are the choices to allow or resist. The choices to go with the flow. And this is what I truly believe. To either go with the flow or or resist and not go with the flow and take the control over that we think we do have, but we don't. And that just breeds more resistance and more, you know, depression or more whatever, because we don't have control of these things that we think we do. All we have control of is allowing or resisting. Are you going to allow this to happen, or are you going to resist it?
Right. And sometimes, because Dewey made a good point, bed is the only way to turn it off for a while. Actually sleeping. So one of if you want to learn a little more about the law of attraction, I would recommend you watch Abraham Hicks videos. And I would also recommend that you watch this video called Fuck the Law of Attraction by Teal Swan on YouTube. It's good. It's good. She actually has a lot of good stuff. Like Dewey, I would highly recommend you watch her videos. Teal Swan on YouTube.
Teal had a very fucked up life.
Yeah. Yeah. So she can teach you about healing from gnarly past. But Abraham says, go to sleep. If you can't fucking stop feeling angry, if you can't stop feeling like crazy, just go to sleep. Literally go take a nap, because when you go to sleep, it literally resets. And when you wake up, if you have a choice of waking up clear or waking up and then all of a sudden like activating all those negative thoughts again. But it's a reset. It's a way to reset yourself. She literally tells people, go take a nap. And you cannot change it when you cannot resist it. Go take a nap.
And it helps.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've heard sleep does is while we sleep, the lessons that we need to learn that we just can't go through because they're just too fucking gnarly or too heavy, we go through it in the dream state. We go through it in the REM state. And that's where we clear that shit out of our systems. I don't know if you ever heard that before.
Well, I don't know if I have that exactly, but definitely like the sleep thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, cool. I mean, if you guys have any more questions, we'd love to answer them. We do go somewhere else in our sleep. Definitely.
Reconnecting to source.
Yes, exactly. That's why it's a reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dog's like yelling at me for food.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You feeling complete?
Who, me?
Should we do a little summary?
We didn't even do the intro prayer or nothing, eh? Yeah, that's why we started off a little slow. Spirit was like, dude.
Amanda has a question.
Sure.
Can helping someone be resisting? Like, I want to give money to my ex so he doesn't get overwhelmed, but he was ordered nothing. Friends say he will never learn if I keep helping. Thoughts? You're a 2, right, Amanda? Definitely no more helping.
Yeah.
Definitely no more helping.
Yeah. And that comes back to them having to go through what they're going through in order to raise their own vibration, you know?
But if you're a 2 on the Enneagram, You want, like, it's like you suffer when you can't help. But
Yeah.
that's you gotta realize you're projecting what you think is right for somebody else based on what your personality most deeply desires, which is to help.
Yeah.
So you gotta, like, it's like, it's not about you. I'm gonna give you like a really tough lesson right now. It's not about you. It's almost like your ego, what your ego wants, right, is getting in the way, because what he needs is not what you think he needs. What he needs is what the universe is teaching him right now. And you need to get out of his way. Get out of the way. It's like you wanting to help him is like getting in between him and the universe. You're like stopping his flow.
Yeah.
And that's like looking in the mirror. Those are the moments that make you look in the mirror and say, how are you contributing to this situation?
I've been
Right?
guilty of that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all have, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Enneagram, JR. William. Good, Amanda. Yes. Yes. Exactly. It's rough. It's like tough love, right? It's like realizing what is really going on here. What is really going on here? Can I look at it with clarity? Do I need to attach? It's like, right? Just this simple example of like Amanda wanting to help, even though the court ordered this thing to be a certain way or whatever, and then you feel bad. That's not, yeah, it's like that's the thing. It's like sometimes we got to realize that it's not about us.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to literally get out of your own way. You get in the way of your own way, like your own healing.
20 years together and now completely released. So hard. I'm going through the exact same thing on a different kind of, in a not so exact same, but where it's like, okay, I need to release and I need to release now. And that's it. And I'm like, holy fuck. So everyone that you've ever loved, you need to release right now, gone. They're all gone. I'm like, whoa.
It's shocking.
Your job, gone. Your house on the verge of being gone. And you need to allow this. I'm like, my God, my entire world is fucking gone. What do you mean I need to allow this? Like, there's nothing left.
Right.
But
and that's where the surrender comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank God I surrendered at that point, because I don't think I really could lose anything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why it's also really important to like know your Enneagram type, because you see how you're projecting on other people.
Yeah.
This situation, Amanda, is teaching you about the how you are. It's very clearly showing you how you are. And it's not like there's anything wrong with it. It's just bringing clarity to the picture. Like, this is what you do.
Yeah. And it's a part of knowing thyself first in order to move forward into a more positive light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing yourself first and knowing how you are and how you operate is what's going to be able to empower you into moving forward in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as loving yourself first, right? Before others can love you truly. That saying.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about Amanda as like the number 2 on the Enneagram. I understand the number 2 very well because Don is a number 2.
Yeah.
And I know how he is. And he's had to like literally check himself a bunch of times, because number 2s, they just want to keep helping and helping and helping and helping. But it gets to a point where they start to enmesh people.
Yeah.
Start to like run over the top of people.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that that's how you are. I'm just saying that the universe has very clearly defined what it is. And to try to override that clarity of the universe is like definitely it's resisting the answer. The answer was very clear, and now you're like resisting it. And so it's just, you are healing. You are healing. this process, all these emotions that are coming up are helping you to step into healing. This whole thing is happening because you are healing.
Mm-hmm.
So the more that you recognize that, you'll step into more clarity and more healing and more clarity and more healing. How do you find out your number? I would recommend getting a book called The Power of the Enneagram by, I think it's Don Richard. It's on Audible. It's only on Audible. And I would listen to the whole thing, from the beginning to the end, and listen to it multiple times and see what resonates with you, what doesn't. Sometimes it takes a while to figure out your Enneagram type because you think who you are. Who you think you are is not actually who you really are. Because there's, like we've been talking about this, there's things that we've learned that have literally gotten in the way of who we are.
Don Richard Rizzo.
Thank you.
RISO. And Russ Hudson.
You were already thinking of how to get food for him or send him money, protective order, so I can't talk to him. I need to let it be. Yeah, like the universe, there is nothing like that much fucking clarity. Okay, it's very clear. Like now your job is to deal with your own shit.
Yeah,
because that's the mirror right there. You're already trying to go against what the law said to help him. I mean, that's like, whoa, right? You got to look at that like really deeply, like almost like the
sneaking him a dime bag.
It's like, knock that shit off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's rough. That's rough. Probably not exactly what you want to hear, but honestly, like it's time. The universe is obviously telling you it's time for you to focus on you. Stop like giving your energy away to that.
No, and
there has been a very clear wall placed between you and him, and you need to honor what the opportunity that the universe is presenting to you right now to heal yourself.
It's a beautiful message too, that how that came about.
Like, right.
You know, like, okay, now even justice prevails in this decision. So, yeah.
I want to respond to the question, JR. You said there are tests online that you can take. The tests don't work. I'm just going to be straight up, you guys. Don't take the tests, because when you answer the questions, you answer them based on who you think you are and not who you actually are, based on a perception of what you think people perceive you as. You know, and it's like this convoluted thing. You need to become aware of the entire circle, the entire thing. The tests do not work. Please don't go that route. We've had this happen already. Like we have the Earth School for Lightworkers with Dawn, and I've had other programs before, and we teach people how to get to know their Enneagram. And every time that someone has tried to do the test, they end up being very confused, because the tests give you, you can be like this personality and this personality and this personality. And if you don't understand how it works, you realize that the test makes absolutely no sense. There's no way for you to be a 9 and a 1 and a 3 at the same time. And that's what the tests do. It's like impossible. So trying to really understand the Enneagram, you need to study the entire thing itself, which means study it. Get the book and read it in its entirety, and read it multiple times. And if you need help, you can literally reach out to me and Dawn. We can help you.
And the one that pisses you off the most when they talk about the flaws of whatever number is usually the number that you are. The one that pisses you off the most, you're like, fucking, well, that's that's your universe saying trigger.
It's easy for somebody who's familiar with the Enneagram to help you like figure it out. But the truth is that it is your individual journey. Nobody can tell you what Enneagram type you really are either. You know?
Yeah, I thought I was a 2 with a 3, but now I'm thinking I'm more of a 4 because I feel so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it means I'm going to have to go back to the book and read it over again. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really helping me to dig deep into myself as well, and truly see me for who I am in all my brilliance and all my flaws, and love me for that and move forward. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is only on Audible, Terry, the book. It's funny how we got onto that topic. But what it's really pointing at is, look at this. Okay, look at what's happened here in this video, in this podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Literally, we've gotten to a point where we're like helping people to realize who they truly are, so that once you understand yourself, you can step into more healing. You can know which way to go. The universe is bringing you clarity, you guys. It's bringing all of us clarity. And that's beautiful.
That's all we could have hoped for these conversations to do, is really bring that clarity to you whether it be from us speaking or channeling messages to you, or straight from source itself,
Mm-hmm.
It's the conversation that really helps us get to that point of damn, I'm not as hopeless as I think I was, or, even saying that I was hopeless was keeping me in a vibration of being hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of conundrums that you can kind of put yourself in verbally, but really it's our choice whether we create that for ourselves to be in a conundrum, or we choose to bust through the imprisonment in our own minds and fucking lift ourselves out.
Here's another thing that just came up. We idealize certain things, certain personality traits. We say, this is who I am, but it's not actually who you are. It's something that you idealize, right? So I'm gonna talk to William right now real quick.
Okay.
And I hope it's okay to get in. Just tell me if it's okay. But we look out at the world and we say, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? And somehow it's not a conscious thing. We get taught certain things in life. We learn how to do certain things, and then we end up idealizing those personality traits that we think are the best, and then we think that that's who we are. But there is an underlying core in how you perceive the world that lies beyond the belief of who you think you are.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's according to your own perception as well.
You just said, Don convinced me I'm a 9 when he said, can we all get along because my beer is getting warm? And I'm going to tell you, William, I'm going to highly recommend that you read the number 4. That's what I'm going to say.
My cat's name is Figaro. Cynthia. I know it's so random, but
yeah. So that's my thing. It's read the 4 and then tell me what you think. And then we can kind of go back and forth with that. But I'm telling you guys, it's a process to figure out your Enneagram type. It is a process.
Same with the law of attraction. It is a process.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't necessarily, you're not going to be a wizard overnight.
Yeah.
But you do have to accept where you're at right now and accept that, yes, I am a manifester, especially if you're in a very low vibration right now, because you manifested that as well. It's not that you manifested that low vibration in order to show you just how much of a manifester you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So once I knew that at a very low level, I was able to pick myself up off the ground You would not believe. I did fairly good, I think, for the amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
William, I don't know. I can't predict what your reaction is going to be to it. But you guys just gotta tell me what you think about it, you know? Sheila's still trying to figure hers out. Yeah. I'm not saying he is a number 4. I'm just saying I highly recommend that he reads that one. And I really want to know how he feels after he reads it. That's what I just, yeah. But, yeah.
Wow.
I think this was a good conversation. I'm feeling like we're complete.
Yeah.
We could go on forever, but I'm feeling like pretty complete. Because Gaia's over here is like really wanting me to go feed her.
Figaro hasn't stopped bugging me since we started. So it's time to kick the cat out the door.
Yeah. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, for being here, for participating in the chat. You guys really make this happen for us. And we loved having these conversations. We don't know what we're going to talk about next week yet, but we will come up with the topic. And if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments, especially if you're watching the replay. Let us know. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to hear about? There's so many topics. They're like endless things we can talk about. So also, I wanted to let you guys know that on Sunday, I'm going to be interviewed by a podcast called Stacy Jewel Bejeweled Podcast. It's a YouTube channel. We're going to go live on her YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Eastern time. She's going to interview me about light work, about the sacred divine feminine, and so many more things. And I'm going to do a live reading on her channel. And she actually has the podcast on iTunes, which you can subscribe to. It's called the Bejeweled Podcast, and she's going to upload that episode next. So I'm really excited about that, you guys. It's a really awesome opportunity. So make sure you guys check that out. What's that? Yes.
Tranquility ahead, Dewey. 6 of Swords.
Yes.
We've
love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Moving our vibration forward. And it's the same as the background too.
I know. That's why I was saying, dang, that's synchronicity right there.
Yeah. Bottom of the deck.
You're welcome, you guys. You're welcome. Yes, love to all. So hope you guys have like a good night. And yeah, share this video out. That's the gratitude, you know, like getting the word out, like especially like these conversations that can really help someone, you know, just like you guys are like, oh my God, I really needed to hear this. You don't know, man. You don't know who else needs to hear it. Let's get it out there. Much love and light. Yes.
Sometimes we need to hear it over and over again. So don't be afraid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be up in here for you at any time. And you're like, remember when? Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Because
you always have it to go back and look at it.
You always
do. And I'll upload it onto my channel as well.
Yeah, so you can find it no matter.
So you guys might be actually watching on my channel the replay. So thank you guys if you are.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So cool, guys.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys.
Yeah, and we'll see you all very soon.
Take care now.